Hey there everybody, welcome back to Art Shack. Hope you're all doing well today. Today I got a tree landscape I'm doing in oil pastel, and this one was pretty interesting because as a lot of you probably know, oil pastel doesn't layer too well. It gets really kind of goopy and globbery after about 2 layers of application. So for this landscape I wanted to put grass in it, and I was thinking, how could I put grass in and show depth within it without adding in a darker color, and then try to put lighter color on top of it, and then it would just turn to a complete mess. I came up with this solution. I put a first layer down of marker. These happen to be Copic markers, and I just lightly sketched some grass in, and then I go over it with oil pastel. And what's awesome about this is that the marker layer dries completely fast. It dries really fast, and you can go over it really easily with the oil pastel, and it shows up really well, as you can see, and it really takes shape really quickly. A bit of a pointer when drawing grass, what I like to do is I like to draw in longer blades of grass closer to me, and then as you get further and further away, draw them smaller and smaller. It helps to show that they're receding into the background. It's hard to see me doing that now, but when the grass is finished, you'll really see how the effect takes place. And so as you saw, I started off the grass with a very, very light yellowish green color. I did that at the very first, and then I went over it with a bit of a darker, more olive green, and at the very bottom I used a very dark green. And I'm trying to improvise here. What's cool about the oil pastel is that you can scratch out color. So I'm using a painter's knife to add a bit of more texture into the drawing, and I'm just using it to make like little flicking motions, and it's taking out some of the darker oil pastel, leaving the lighter one, which is giving it some highlights, which I thought was a pretty cool effect. So here we go, I'm drawing in the tree. I hope that you can see the sketch. It's a very basic sketch. I only used it to just give me a sense of where I wanted things to go. And then I used a pen to kind of make it a little bit darker to see, just for my own point of reference, just to see where everything was going to be laid out. And then I took some oil pastel and started laying it down. I was a little unsure about how to really layer it. I was experimenting as I was going. So as I was going, I realized I have to make the whole tree lighter at first, and then add darker colors on top of that. It's kind of the opposite from when you're painting. You want to do the darker colors first, then the lighter on top. But oil pastels, they don't really work that well that way. You have to think in reverse sometimes. You got to add the lighter color first, then the darker on top of that. So I was just really messing around with the tree for a while, trying to mix around tones and different colors just to see what I liked and what worked. It was really just a big experiment with what it was. And as the drawing went on, I just kept on mixing media with media. First I start with marker, then oil pastel, and now I'm going on to watercolor paint. I just wanted to add in a nice light sky. Oh, and what's really, really cool is that since the oil pastel is wax, the watercolor won't stick over that. The wax repels that watercolor. So you can literally apply that watercolor on top of all the oil pastel, and it won't do anything. It just repel it. So I also decided to add in some distant hills and things like that, just to kind of give this a little more interesting dynamics to it. Like I said, I keep saying this, it's just, whenever I draw, it's always just a big experiment. I just like to play with different things and see what happens. And here's the finished result. I hope we all enjoyed this one. If you did, please rate thumbs up and please subscribe. I'll see you all later.